Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I really wanted to talk about this one part of the Entertainment Weekly article that talked about, I think it was like the last day of filming for The Walking Dead. And there's a lot of redacted, and I'm going to get into the quote right away, and you're going to see there's a lot of things that are redacted from this. And it's really weird because I believe this is from the last episode. So just a lot of what's, redacted from here. It's interesting because, like, I wonder if they're going to be doing certain things from the comic, and also what does it mean, right? Like, I'm a little confused here. But anyways, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this. The show is returning in 15 days. So, well, it's 15 days as of recording this. If this is dropping on September 18th, then obviously we're exactly 2 weeks away. It's not this Sunday coming up, but it's the Sunday after. A lot of Walking Dead content coming over the next 2 weeks. Like, a lot of Walking Dead content is going to be dropping over the next 2 weeks. So definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all of that. But let's actually get into this quote here. So again, I will leave a link down below to this article if you do want to check it out. I mean, this is just like the first part of the article. This is sort of unrelated, honestly, to everything that they talk about in the article, but they do sort of talk about the process of it. And I mean, they were there on set for the last day of filming, right? So they do actually, I guess, give more context on that because it was a really interesting time, right? Like, if you were there, it was definitely something that was very special. But yeah, definitely go check out the article. The quote here says, transforming the downtown area into redacted for a scene that takes place approximately redacted years before or after the events of redacted. This is redacted because it all comes down to redacted, says redacted after filming a big scene alongside redacted. And especially when redacted, of course, that's all because redacted. So, like, what does this even mean? And so just focusing on that first paragraph there, like, it says transforming the downtown area into redacted for a scene that takes place approximately redacted years before and after the events of redacted. So, I mean, that first redacted there, it says transforming the downtown area into redacted for a scene. So, like, I don't know what that could mean, but say it's something like transforming the downtown area into just something that's more peaceful or whatever, or something that's supposed to look a certain way for a scene that takes place 20 to approximately 30 years before or after the events of I guess maybe the very beginning of or maybe the ending of The Walking Dead, or like where they end the Commonwealth story, or maybe it's since the beginning of the apocalypse. Like, I do actually wonder if this sort of confirms that they're going to be doing that big time jump in the comic, because for those that don't know, in the comic, they do a time jump that's like 15 years up to 30 years. It's a long time jump, and it's never really stated how many years it is, but Carl's basically a teenager, obviously, during the Commonwealth story, but then he's much older, he's a grown man, so it could be anywhere from 15 to 30 years. And so I actually wonder if we could see that scene, to be honest. I wouldn't be that surprised. And so if you see something like this, like transforming the downtown area into, say you got to build a big set that's going to really make a lot of sense. It says for a scene that takes place some amount of years, whatever, before or after the events of. But see, that's the thing. It does say before or after the events of. That's what's hard about it. Like, I don't know what this means. This is so cryptic that it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it means, because maybe it means that, or maybe we're going to see something that, like, is you don't really understand what it means. Maybe it's unrelated to certain things. Maybe this is a post-credit scene or something like that. Like, I don't know what this means. And you go to the second paragraph. Maybe this is cool because it all comes down to this, says, I guess, this actor after filming a big scene alongside, I guess, another actor. And especially when maybe it says the fans or something like that. I don't know. I'm really wondering, like, why those words are redacted. I mean, it could literally just be a joke, and maybe I'm taking this way too seriously, but I don't think so, because if you actually look at the following quotes and stuff, it says that if the secrecy sounds a bit extreme, it is because we're on set for the series finale of the game-changing, record-breaking zombie apocalypse-making phenomenon that is The Walking Dead. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, and obviously it's going to be really cool to come back and look at this quote. Like, this quote specifically, I want to know what all of that means. Like, how can it be that secret? I imagine some stuff could be really secret. And you do gotta wonder if maybe Rick is a part of this, if Michonne is a part of this. I don't see them being in the last episode. That's the thing. Like, I don't see them being in the last episode because there's kind of, I mean, you got the spinoffs and all of that, and it really depends on how you do it. Like, the one thing that I always sort of say when it comes to this really is, what if you do see Rick? So say they jump forward 20 years in the future, 15, 20 years into the future, and you see Rick and Michonne there. You know, they're much older, but they're back. They're with Judith. They're with RJ. But maybe you don't see Daryl, and maybe you don't see other characters. So, it's sort of that mystery is still there. Yes, for the Rick and Michonne show, we know that Rick and Michonne make it back. Which, does that ruin the reveal? I mean, to be honest, I don't really think so, because I also think for that last season, maybe you do a big time jump where you focus on Rick 20 years later, right? I could see them doing something like that, so maybe he dies then. And maybe, this way you have him around for a long time. But also, are they really going to kill Rick off again after he's basically been dead for however many years? That's why I kind of see Rick surviving, and I see Daryl being the character that dies. Because when it comes down to the ending of all of this, a big character is going to die. A lot of big characters are dying, and I think that's what's kind of exciting about the spinoffs, is that it's really going to happen now. Whereas, before they wanted to sort of keep them around for the purpose of these spinoffs to keep The Walking Dead going for as long as they possibly could. But now that we're sort of at the end of the show, getting the spinoffs, this is a time where you do kill these characters off, right? So in that sense, I could see, the possibility of Rick showing up, and people might think it's spoilery, but what if one of the episodes, you see Rick 20 years later, and then at some point it continues the story, and then maybe he dies at some point there, right? So then he does actually die. And so what you saw in the finale of The Walking Dead was only a part of the story that eventually was going to come with The Walking Dead, right? So I do wonder, honestly, I actually do really wonder how this is going to all play out. In terms of this quote, I really do not know what the hell, this is honestly just really confusing, and it's so hard to actually, I mean, it literally says redacted after filming a big scene alongside. So who's that person? Is that Norman Reedus? Why couldn't they say Norman Reedus, right? It depends on how secret they want to be with this. So, this could literally be a quote by Norman Reedus. He could be saying this is cool because it all comes down to this big moment or whatever, says Norman Reedus after filming a big scene alongside Andrew Lincoln. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what this specifically means, but it's really crazy that we actually have this one quote to sort of, figure out what it's going to mean. And I would honestly really like to know what you guys think some of these things mean here. It's hard to predict. I feel like the second one could be easier. The second paragraph might be easier than the first one, but maybe not. I also wanted to talk about this one quote here, which I found very, very fascinating. This is from Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He actually posted this on Instagram, and I'll definitely leave a link down below if you want to actually check out the post and the photo and whatnot, because he does post a photo there it's with him and Lauren Cohen. But he says, "Here we go, folks. In between setups on set of Dead City, I'll say this: it feels like we're making something special, and nobody I'd rather be doing this with than at Lauren Cohen. We can't wait to show you something soon, I think." So yeah, I actually really wonder. I mean, they've been filming for a long time. I think they started filming right before Comic-Con, right? So it's been 2 months for sure. Could be a little over 2 months and a week, but just say 2 months for sure. That's 8 weeks. It usually takes 3 weeks per episode, at least if I'm basing it off The Walking Dead, which I know is, changes quite a bit. But they could be definitely done episode 3 right now, on episode 3, maybe going into episode 4. And I mean, by the time The Walking Dead actually ends in November, so in 2 months from now, they should be done or near done. I imagine they're probably going to be done this thing, wrapped up entirely by the US Thanksgiving, right, which is the end of November. So if they've been filming something for now, they could show us a teaser, because I'm kind of predicting this show to come out in February. It seems really crazy, it seems really fast, but I mean, they've been filming for such a long time, and what, are they going to be holding on to this until next fall? No, that's when the Rick show's coming out. What about the Daryl show? I think that's coming out in the summer or spring or whatever. So it kind of makes sense to me personally that this would come out in the fall, or in the spring, right? So I'm kind of, or I guess winter/spring. So I'm kind of predicting February. I think it kind of makes sense to drop there, or maybe even April, because maybe Fear Season 8 begins in February, right? But then again, that show started filming a little later than All the Dead. So it's kind of hard to say right now, but he did say that we're going to be getting something soon. So there is a New York Comic-Con that's dropping, or that's happening in early October, usually the first week or two into October. I don't know the exact dates this time, but so we could get something then. There's also the possibility of dropping something when The Walking Dead ends, right? So there's going to be a lot to talk about over the next 2 months. This is definitely something I'm looking forward to right here. I think before you release a teaser for this, though, you might want The Walking Dead to end, right? So that's why I'm kind of thinking New York Comic Con to be kind of unlikely. because why showcase something with them when The Walking Dead's not over, right? I mean, they kind of already gave away that the characters did survive, so there is that. But I also think there is a difference between showing us stuff like that, showing us a teaser, and, you know, like telling us that a show's coming out. Because, like, that's the thing. That's why, for me, I don't really give them too much, or I don't blame AMC too much there. Because, like, you obviously want The Walking Dead to keep going, right? So it makes sense to let the fans know that, no, this isn't ending The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead is ending, but there's a lot of stories and stuff that we're doing here. You know, to announce it afterwards, I feel like is kind of a little cheap. I don't know, like imagine it. The Walking Dead is ending. We're all building up this hype. It's like whatever. And then they announce the spinoffs. You know what I mean? Because then you have to worry about some people actually being really done. And then maybe people find the finale a little underwhelming, right? Because maybe they're like, well, I thought it was going to end everything, but it's actually not. Okay. And then people are probably going to be even more pissed, right? So I don't blame them for that. And also on top of that, they're filming Isle of the Dead right now. There's no way in hell they could have kept this a secret. There's no way. So I know people are kind of, you know, will say whatever about AMC announcing this. I don't think there's an issue here. People are going to find out no matter what. So I think it makes a lot of sense to announce it when they did, because people were going to find them in New York filming. It was going to be everywhere. They would have had to have come out and confirmed it at Comic-Con, or maybe they just keep it secret, but that's going to be there. It's going to be out there. People are going to be wondering what's happening with the Rick show as well. So you kind of have to confirm that news. Like, I think the way they handled it, honestly, was really well. Like, I think it worked out, and I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. Like I honestly really don't. And so, yeah, I'm definitely really excited. I really, like, I'm hoping that we're going to be seeing a teaser trailer very soon. And so I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to be, you know, checking my Twitter constantly. I mean, we're 2 episodes away from the Walking Dead premiere, so a bunch of stuff is about to start dropping regarding that. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty crazy next 2 months, honestly, really insane, and I'm definitely here for it. So definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.